Welcome back, everyone, and we have a little bit of good news for the pro-lifers in the country. Federal court upholds Kentucky law requiring women who want abortions to have ultrasound. A federal appeals panel on Thursday ruled to uphold a 2017 Kentucky law requiring doctors to perform an ultrasound and present the resulting image to women aborting their pregnancies. Under the law, HB 2, physicians must show an ultrasound image and play audio of the fetal heartbeat before a woman is allowed to have an abortion. A woman is permitted to look away from the ultrasound and ask that the volume of the heartbeat, if present, be turned down. Doctors who violate the law face up to $250,000 in fines and possible suspension or revocation of their medical license. The Sixth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals struck down a previous lower court ruling on Thursday, which found that HB 2 presented an undue burden on women seeking abortions and was not constitutional because it violated the rights of physicians providing abortions, according to the Louisville Courier-Journal. We hold that HB 2 provides relevant information, Judge John Bush wrote in the decision, according to the Journal. The information contained or conveyed by an ultrasound image is a description its description, and the audible beating fetal heart gives a patient greater knowledge of the unborn life inside her. This also inherently provides the patient with more knowledge about the effect of an abortion procedure. It shows her what or whom she is considering to terminate. Bush wrote in the decision, the Journal reported. Dissenting Judge Bernice Bowie Donald pushed back on the appeal's final ruling, saying HB 2 is a restriction on speech and that has no basis in the practice of medicine, the Journal reported. I am gravely concerned with the precedent this majority creates today, she said. Its decision opens the floodgates to states in this circuit to manipulate doctor-patient discourse solely for ideological reasons. Republican Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin applauded the ruling, calling it a major pro-life legal victory. The appeals panel's decision comes after a federal judge recently extended a suspension on two state abortion bans, one which prohibits abortions in the presence of a fetal heartbeat, and another which bans abortions on the basis of race, sex, or disability, according to the Louisville Courier-Journal. Bevin signed SB 9 on March 15th, prohibiting a person from performing an abortion after the detection of a fetal heartbeat, according to the legislation. The governor also signed HB 5 in March, prohibiting an abortion if the pregnant woman is seeking the abortion in whole or in part because of an unborn child's sex, race, color, national origin, or disability, except in the case of a medical emergency, according to the legislation. Both, both bills were signed under an emergency clause, but were temporarily suspended after the American Civil Liberties Union, a nonprofit legal and advocacy organization, sued the state and challenged the constitutionality of both bills. Kentucky has only one abortion clinic. Counseling and parental consent for minors are also mandatory before a woman can have an abortion under state law, according to the Guttmacher Institute. Honestly, this is something that should be very simple for someone to read and understand. We have laws that prevent destruction of eggs, destruction of animals, just their habitat if it happens to be mating season. Destroying an endangered species egg can land you in federal prison. Destroying just an egg is seen as the most heinous and evil act on the planet by so many people because that is a life. I've personally had people tell me that even unfertilized chicken eggs are a life that should be allowed to happen and to flourish. But a fertilized human egg growing in the mother's womb with a heartbeat and who can react to external stimulus, well, that's just a clump of cells. You can get rid of that anytime you want. The party that calls anyone saying man-made climate change is not true, science deniers. But people who say that a unborn child is a human being, well, no, that's not true. They're denying science. Ask your medical doctors in your area, not abortion providers. Ask medical doctors, MDs in general practice, surgery, or any other specialty, if they would abort a child simply because the mother wants it, not for any emergency at all. I will contend that 97.5% or more, should be 100%, but 97.5% or more will tell you no, because their Hippocratic oath prevents them doing harm. Watch the videos on YouTube where former abortionists describe pulling and pulling until all of a sudden a tiny arm pops out, and then a leg, and then a bit of torso. They literally dismember children in the womb. But this is defended as choice. And now, showing a woman that it is not a clump of cells, it is a human with a heartbeat reacting to the stimulus of the ultrasound's noise. Doctors routinely move the ultrasound around to force the child who is reacting to the noise to turn and twist and move their arms because they're trying to determine the sex of the baby. If you'll notice, part of this even states that the ACLU was against a law that prohibits abortion based on sex, race, creed, or ethnicity. So the party of tolerance and we have to be diverse and we cannot discriminate at all is actually suing to allow discrimination in the case of murdering your unborn child. There was a story went around not long ago. A woman was found to be carrying quadruplets, one set of fraternal twins and one set of paternal twins, or identical twins. The identical twins were found to be girls. The fraternal, non-identical, were found to be boys. She actually asked the doctor, "Can you abort only the boys?" Now, she tried to defend this decision by saying the identical twins will develop a deeper bond and be happier as children, because, of course, they could not afford to have 4 children come into the world. Never mind that 2 could be put for adoption. And given the world as it is, I'm betting they could find someone that they know who would adopt the boys. Many people would adopt them both. The man who literally saved my life more than once before we lost him just over 10 years ago was adopted. What would happen to the world without adoption? There are many people who cannot have children. Scott's parents literally cannot physically conceive and bear children. They adopted, loved him like he was their own. Only when he was 18, and he knew before then, but when he was 18, he did meet his birth mother. I don't know what came of it. He didn't speak of it. I didn't press. But why is it that the party of everyone has a choice is against the choice to let your child live and be raised by someone else? Why is it the only choice you're allowed to make is to obey them on this issue? Abortion has claimed more lives than countless wars put together. Look to the history and look to Margaret Sanger and why she started Planned Parenthood. It is one of the most racist moves on the planet because she did not like minorities. And by urging them to abort their children, she was literally exercising population control of those she felt did not deserve to live. This issue should be cut and dry, and for me it is. Life begins when sperm meets egg. We have people who will just contend all day long that bacteria on Mars is proof of life. That coral reefs, because they do grow and they do react to light and need oxygen, well, that's life. But the human-shaped body in a woman's womb that has a heartbeat and reacts to external stimulus is a clump of cells. It is the most evil Machiavellian move on the planet to control population and to exert power over people that you want power over. And it should be stopped. Medical decisions should be made between the patient and an MD, not an abortionist. And I know of no MD that would provide abortion as a service because it does harm to both the child killed and the mother asking for it. Every single one of them will tell you, if and when there is finally a scenario where I must abort the child to save the mother's life, many of them would probably just do it and then explain. But they would all, if allowable, ask the mother and the father, your child cannot be saved, but I can save your life. So I'm going to act to save the one life I can instead of losing 2. And that is not what's at up for debate here. What's up for debate is the left does not want a law requiring doctors to prove to a prospective mother. Although I will change that because I've seen several times an image. There are no prospective mothers. There are no expecting mothers. There are mothers. That child is a child. So I will stand firmly with Kentucky and firmly against those saying that doctors should not prove that every mother is a mother when their child is in their womb by proving that child has a heartbeat and is able to react to external stimulus and proving they are not a clump of cells before the mother is allowed to abort and kill that child. The supposed party of life and choice stands completely opposite to their stated goals. But I've talked long enough on this. What are your thoughts? Keep it classy, keep it civil. I know this is a very hot topic, but it is a topic that needs to be spoken of again and again. We are now on to the schedule of releasing at 4 and 10 and 4 and 10 every day, although as I've said in some previous videos, that may not be exactly what I post on the weekends due to other commitments and other things. I'm also recovering today from a short bout of a stomach bug, so hopefully I got it and won't come back on me again. Until next time, make sure to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell. That way you're kept up to date on all the content so that as I'm able to jump down other rabbit holes and produce more, you'll be the first to know. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.